Hey crew, what up? It's Dr. Jared here. Welcome back. Thank you so much for all of the comments, all the likes, all of the shares. Really appreciate you getting out the free information, helping people out. Again, if you haven't done that, don't hesitate to like, to share, and definitely not to comment with your questions, with your needing verification. We just want to be able to get out as much information as we possibly can. Again, double unders, you guys asked in the poll, and now we're going to deliver the 12-step guide to dominate the double under and just stop skipping steps 1 through 10. All right, we're going to get into it right now. Just kidding. Bonus stuff. You guys are so nice. We wanted to give you some bonus things, or at least have access to that. So in the blog post, if you go into the text area, you'll see a couple of links for some bonus extra stuff. Now, the first one has to do with the double under. It's the cheat sheet. There's a lot of information in here. Okay, this is going to be a longer video. Sorry, there's so much that has to get done, which is why people struggle so much with double unders. You either have them or you kind of don't. And this cheat sheet will be able to help the people who need it have that access, whether you download it on your smartphone or where you print it out. I don't really care. I just want you to have that information so it's easy for you to progress. But then also we want to do a wall ball extra. Nobody talked about wall ball, but we see it in the office all the time. People struggling with a wall ball, whether it gives them headaches, shoulder issues, low back issues, whatever it is. Wall balls, just the inefficiencies there, people just hate them, and it shouldn't be. It's a really light thruster into a really light push press. You should be able to do that significantly well, or be able to hold pace with that, and this extra will help you with that. Now, we'll get into this. Again, we said it's long, so we want to be crisp and fast with this. Diaphragmatic breathing. Whoa, that's not the first thing that I was thinking about here. Well, that's what we're going to talk about. We need to really set the diaphragm, and in so doing, be able to hold a nice solid body frame so we can spring well but still breathe. A lot of times people are just gassing out in their posture and gassing out in their lungs, and when you combine those, it gets ugly. So we need to understand how to engage the lower abs, how to keep doing that as you breathe through the lateral rib cage, and how to keep your lower ribs down, as well as keeping your shoulders back and down. We'll get into this. Now you see, oh, I have the rope here. Yeah, are we going to use the rope for double unders? Heck no, we're getting rid of it right now, because we have to set our diaphragm. We have to set our midline. We have to understand how to get in good position here. You see, I'm going to really lock down on my lower abdomen. See that big deep breath in. That's so important to be able to take the deep breath in and hold tension. But what's the hard part? It's holding tension when you're breathing out. So you see I'm breathing out there, and I'm really trying to hold that tension right in through there. In so doing, I'm able to easily transition to the next phase, which is the hollow body, and I can hold that position. I can breathe through that position. In fact, my breathing helps sustain that position. So even if you think you're okay with this one, go ahead and practice this. It's not just for the double under. It's pretty much for all things. Again, we'll go into the step number 2, going into the hollow body. Now, okay, we've done hollow rocks. Understanding you have to lock out your toes and feet through your calves, your knees through your quads, your hips from your glutes and your hamstrings. Your lower abs obviously are setting that top part of the pelvis, or the front part of the core. Your shoulder blades are going to be pinned down so that you're not breathing through your neck, and your head's going to be positioned appropriately. How many times when you get in that position do you go toes to head or head to toes and really make sure that things are set up? Probably not very often, because when you do, it's relatively difficult. We'll get into it here. We see I'm setting my feet, I'm setting my arms. I'm going to take my arms down to that jump rope type position, and here I'm going to intensify. I'm either going to hold my head neutral or go into kind of this globally flexed position, but you see I'm really working hard trying to take deep breaths. Want to take about 3, 4, 5 deep breaths. See a little bit of the shakes going on there, but that's legit, folks. That's exactly where we want to be. And if you think about it, that's when I'm leaving the ground. I'm in a similar position. Now that's a little bit exaggerated, but the idea of being able to hold that and breathe through 4, 6, 10 breathing cycles is very challenging, but it's very beneficial, not only to the double under, but to all of our gymnastics and all of our other lifts. Now, step number 3, hollow springs. We want to make this a little bit more transitional. First, we're just talking about breathing, then we're talking about stabilizing our system. Now, why are we stabilizing the system? So we can be an industrial spring. Now, the idea with this when we're on our back is just to kind of start to say, how do I make sure that spring happens from that lower abdomen? I need to breathe, I need to be hollow, and I need to do what I'm going to call a baby V-up, or if you want to call them kind of pseudo crunches, you can call them whatever you want. The The idea is we're just trying to stay tight, but be dynamic with this. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to set my body. I'm going to be breathing, but you see I'm kind of going through that jump phase that you might see in the double unders. And man, oh man, am I feeling it right in that area? And that's where we want to feel it. That's where we want to hold it. Many times people are hyperextending their back. They're really hurting their knees or their feet. We just don't want to have that. The big thing is being able to breathe, stay hollow, be able to engage that lower abdomen, keep it on as we get tired. Now we go into step 4, which is standing diaphragmatic breathing. So step 4 through 6 is the same as step 1 through 3. It's just we're going to the standing position and starting to get more postured toward the double under itself. Again, lower abs, breathe through the lateral rib cage, keep the lower ribs down, keep the shoulders back and down. We'll see me go through this, really thinking, yeah, I'm going to get my toes into the ground, just kind of thinking a little bit about my posture, but realistically, it's about the breathing, the rib cage, that lower abdomen, being able to hold good position, which is not that. We want to stay out of that, and we'll go into that right now. We want to get into the standing hollow position. What you saw just a moment ago is the exact opposite of that. We'll go through it again, but we need to really have the toes locked out, the knees locked back, the hips driven forward, the lower abs sending the lower back into a neutral position, our shoulders being locked back and down, and our head in a good position. We'll see how that looks right here. There's that bad posture. And a lot of times you'll see people, fall into that posture as they start double undering, and it's just something we have to avoid for many reasons, but it's just very, very inefficient. So here, getting in even to where I was with those hands in step 2, starting to work my diaphragmatic breathing, but really holding a lot of tension so that I can transition that to the spring, which is what's going to happen next. Now we're going to do the standing springs. Again, I know it's redundant. I know it's crazy. You just need to breathe. You need to stay hollow so that you can spring like an industrial spring, not like a slinky. If you're a slinky, you're not going to get too much height, and that's when you're going to whip yourself with the rope. That's when you're going to throw your rope. That's when you're going to get frustrated. We just don't want to have to do that. So we'll get into these standing springs early on. I'm kind of figuring out how to do this. I don't do a ton of them, but they're a good drill. And you see, it's almost starting to set my rhythm with my hands. When we get into, I believe, steps 8, 9, and 10, know that you can transition them back to step 6. So you don't have to get your height if you have problems with your feet, if you have problems with your Achilles tendon, your plantar fascia, your knees, and you don't want to pound. You're not quite ready for that yet. You have to build some volume and some rhythm without killing yourself. We can actually work some of those drills backwards into this as we start to develop strength in the foot, because realistically, that's what it's all about. If I have a solid arch and I can spring on a very tight system through my foot, I win this double under game. And some people who are more endurance-based athletes who didn't jump and spring and change directions a lot in sports as a kid and as they develop, it's very difficult to get enough height and to have the kind of tension recoil capability through the foot and the rest of the system. So this might be where a lot of you spend quite a bit of time developing your capabilities. Now, if we move ahead, hey, guess what? We get the rope again. How exciting. We're going to do single leg singles. What the heck? This is a double under video. Yes, it is. Why can't you do double unders? Well, it's probably because you don't have the coordination or the rhythm or the height or the strength or the endurance or all of the above. And this single leg single is a way to really start to work those things without getting frustrated or without really getting any true volume. So again, breathe, hollow, spring. But now we're going to look at this leg pump, and it's a good way to start getting the rhythm of how to get lift your body up without getting into the what you'll see as the donkey kick or really kind of butt kicks when people are doing their double unders. If we look at this, you're going to see I'm just going to do a little pop with that foot up, but you see with my spring on the foot that's jumping, it's very minimal. Not a whole lot of work is going on in that leg in terms of bending a lot and having to jump real slow. It's kind of less is more and quicker is better. Again, I'm getting rid of that rope. Again, too much time for most people trying double unders when they need to be working on the components. So yes, have a little fun with it. Get rid of your rope because I know you want to throw it anyway. anyway. Now we'll get back into the toothpick jumps. We're going to breathe. We're going to be hollow. We're going to spring. But now we're going to focus on our height. We'll get into this. And again, if you forgot what you're supposed to do with your rope, you're supposed to chuck it. Not at somebody. Make sure you're not going to hit anybody. But go ahead and get rid of that thing. Now, I'm really getting into this solid, tight position. And here, this is kind of the progression of what you would do with step number 6. It's, yeah, before I'm not even lifting off the ground. I'm just kind of working kind of that foot. Well, now I can start to work number 7, but then also into number 8 in terms of trying to generate some height, but maintaining my breathing capability, maintaining my hollow body position, and maintaining that good, quick, industrial spring. Now we'll get into the slap jumps. You know, we've seen this. I've seen it from somebody in Arizona that I dropped in. I followed them. They're really, really cool guys, and they're able to, they go through a lot of technical stuff, which is fun to see. So I saw that first here. Kelly Jackson, best CrossFitter in the St. Louis area. You know, she posted something like this. So this is things that even these high-level people are doing just to kind of maintain their efficiency. Even though they're really, really good, they realize it's important to kind of keep their rhythm, or in their coaching of other people, they're utilizing these drills probably with some good efficiency in terms of getting people their double under. So again, we're going to breathe, we're going to stay hollow, we're going to spring, we're going to get our height, but now we're going to start to work our rhythm by slapping our legs immediately after, but just after we jump. And that's going to mimic, hey, I've cleared space for the rope, I'm going to spin it twice, then I'm going to go down and spring, clear space for the rope, do it twice. It's going to look like this. Get hollow, make sure we breathe, make sure everything's solid. You see, right when I jump, I go right into that rhythm of tapping the legs. And that just lets me know, once I get my rope in my hands, I'm going to have that rhythm already set in my brain and my motor pattern to be able to start doing this. And again, I don't have any marks on my legs, and I haven't broken a single handle yet with the rope. Now, this is another one. Whoops, we'll go back here. This is another one, the hammer jumps. It's something I've kind of added in here that kind of gives a little bit more of that, the true movement with the wrist that we're going to do when we actually pick up the rope. And it's one I like quite a bit here. So we're going to go into this, and you see, I'm just going to do 2 taps with the hammer. 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm going to do it with the jump now, which is just going to make it a little bit more like the range of motion you'll see with the double under. In fact, if I just get a little forward momentum with each one of those little hammer taps, yeah, I'm going to be able to start spinning that rope exactly how I want to, with the right height, with the right rhythm, and everything's going to work pretty well. So now we've gone through 1 through 10, which we said do not skip. Now we can get into step 11, where if you haven't had any double unders before, or if you've only gotten a couple and they've been ugly, this is now in step 11 where we start to refine that or achieve it. We want to do easy singles into a quick but easy double. Again, we just want to make sure that when you get this first double under, it's something that can be progressed. It's not this ugly donkey kick thing. It's not something where you fall over and you look like, you know, it's just nasty. We want this to be easy and simple and just to feel effortless, almost like it's the same amount of effort as doing singles, or just maybe slightly harder. So we'll see this. I'll go through. I'm going to have my breathing. Good. Going to get in good position here, just thinking, yep, get my timing, get my timing. Then I'm going to be able to get my single and be done with it. Again, nice and smooth, industrial spring. And you see, I don't really go that much higher on my double under jump than I do on my single under. It's more of a speed and rhythm thing with my wrist. Now, for the people who don't have a lot of jump in their background, this is going to be something that's very beneficial, just to kind of say, hey, we work that jump, and now it's easy to put into our first set of double unders. Now we'll go again here. I shouldn't have this one in here because that's the same one that we just did. This one has both the single under start as well as just going right into your double unders. And early on, yeah, it's going to be something you might have to start getting that rhythm to start that first double under into the second one. But eventually, we want you to be able to time up your jump just by getting that rope going and jumping right before the rope gets there and going right into your double under. Let's see it here in real time. Again, with this one, we'll start off just with our singles. And that second jump is the jump that's so darn important. Again, look at the second jump. I almost want to think I'm going to jump a little bit higher just to make sure that I get that next one going. And everyone who's struggled with double unders, maybe getting one, A, is okay. Being able to get two is a little harder. Here, I'm getting a little bit better at this, and I just know that first jump, I want to make sure I don't catch my toe. The second one needs to be high enough, then I can find my rhythm. Good one, another good one, and then I can kind of ease into rhythm. But if you get one, and then you get two, and then that third one, that's kind of when you unlock everything, all right? If you've been there and, hey, I get to 10 and I fall apart, just realize if you go through steps 1 to 10, it'll give you more endurance. If you've never gotten your double unders or you've only been able to do singles, hey, steps 1 through 10 are going to give you the elevation, give you the rhythm, give you the timing to start piecing them together with more consistency, with less effort, and with less frustration. Plus, we won't have bruises and weird marks on our body that we have to explain come summertime and we go to the pool. Now, again, guys, check this out. Get it now. If you want these ASAP and you don't have to look for them on social media, go to hpcmovemob.com, follow us, give us your email. It'll go right to you. On Instagram, find us at HPC-Dr.J, and at Facebook, find us at Health and Performance Center. Also, don't forget about the bonuses. Go to the blog post. In the text down below, you'll see some links. Number one, for the cheat sheet, so you have this, so you don't have to remember all of this or play it all again, because I know the sound of my voice gets boring. The other thing is the wall ball. If you're someone who gets headaches, shoulder issue, or your efficiency just isn't there, that's at your disposal as well. We'll be able to get them to you ASAP. Good luck.